trying to prepare for a game like this, given everything that had gone on at Spurs and yet another new manager in charge, does that make your job all the more difficult when you're trying to figure out what to prepare for?
Last night I played a similar system, or the system they played now, more or less for a while already. In general, I think the mentality boost, whatever, that's clear that it will come in the second half. Last night helped definitely. This game could have gone either way. They could have lost it in the first half, but they could have won it in the second half. They had the biggest chance, a massive chance before United scored the 2-0. That could have been equalizer. So that's how football on highest level is. So it can always go either way. No, more difficult. Well, how I said, I watched last night, and I think most of the players who will play against us played in that game as well. So that's what we prepare for.
Jürgen, with Tottenham against Newcastle, you've been involved in those high-scoring matches with Liverpool. When you watch it happening to, say, another team and the speed in which those goals were scored, does it make you appreciate what you have achieved in those high-scoring games more when you watch it being done to someone else? Can you kind of, because when you're involved in it, you're involved in the moment of it, so when you're watching it from behind the screen, does it make you watch in disbelief, or does it make you watch like, oh, wow, or do you think, well, we've done that and how hard it really is?
No idea. Honestly, it's like sometimes I enjoy football. I enjoy watching us from time to time. But I think back and think, oh my God, that's what we did. That doesn't happen really. I'm too much in the moment. Maybe a bit of a shame, to be honest. But I always thought I will have time for these kind of things after my career. So this season, if we don't do something really special, will be remembered for the 7-0 against United. And I hope people, when they speak about it in a few years, they will look back and say, I was here when United 7-0, and that they could say something nice on top of that. And after that, we qualified still for whatever. So that would be nice. But if not, then we have to take that as well. But no, I don't. We did what we did, and for a long period of time, it was really good. And even this year, we had some absolutely good moments. But in general, what we lack this year is consistency, and that's what we have to change, and that's what we are working on.
Jürgen, the current run you're on coincided with Curtis Jones being in the team. He's had 5 consecutive starts. It's the longest run of the season so far. So just wonder if you could talk a bit about the impact he's made on the team and what your thoughts are on him.
Yeah, that he has now 5 games in a row is obviously great, but it didn't look for a long time during the season that these kind of things would be possible, because we spoke about it. He was really had a freakish injury, but it is anyway. We had to be super careful with him, super careful with him. Even when he was back in training, he was not allowed to train and have a normal training week, which is that time. And Curtis came back in the team. We were still involved in European football. Means we don't train properly. That makes it really difficult for players who come back to get up to speed. It was really super difficult to organize. But there was a moment when he was allowed to, when he could train again and normal, and it was pretty quickly clear that the sessions he had around our sessions were, obviously from a physical point of view, really good, because he looked ready pretty quick. And now you can see that under Curtis, it's always with the boys from the own academy. People fancy big transfers, stuff like this. So it's like if a player, our own academy boy, plays good football, then that's okay. But I would prefer bringing him in. So I'm really happy for Curtis that he could show up now again, and he is was always only in the squad because he has real quality. And now you can see it, obviously, that he is good on the ball, safe on the ball, which is super helpful, and defense extremely good, which is even more important, and because they are all good footballers. so he deserves that spell, definitely. He really deserves that. He has had a tough time to go through, and it's hard if you don't feel really injured, but everybody tells you you are, and you are not allowed to do this and do that and do this and do that. That's really hard, especially for a young man. And he got through this and is now in a good shape. That's it.
In a season of ups and downs, how satisfying and reassuring is it, the level of consistency you now seem to be getting?
It's for me too early to speak about consistency. For me, winning 3 games is not consistent. It's good, but it can only be the start of something. And it's about consistency you show in performances, even more than in results. And out for the outside world, it's the result. But for us, obviously, it must be the performance, because that's what we work with. And I'm happy with that in the moment, because in all the games, as different as they were, I saw a lot of things we want to see in the games, and that's then really good. That's really pleasing for the coach inside, that these things are still possible, and that's good. But then the opponent requires different things. What we have to do, we cannot just we want to focus on us, and that's what we do. But we cannot ignore the quality of the opponent, so we have to be ready for that as well. And there's always something to improve, and that's fine. And that's what we try to do as well now. And that's it. I'm absolutely okay with the moment, but it's not that I already trust ourselves that much that I say, that's it now, we are out of the woods, because this season gave us a few lessons I didn't want to learn, but I learned. And so we have to stay super focused, we have to be super aggressive, angry, greedy, whatever. Show that the most important prize in football is the 3 points at the weekend or midweek, whenever you play in the next Premier League game. And that's all we have to be focused on. And I hope we can show that Sunday.